Everybody stay where you are. City attorney and city treasurer, please come.
And Joe.
Joe? No.
Yes, Joe.
I am not an elected official.
One of them need to come on this end and one stand right here in front. Yes, yes. All right, everybody smile, look pretty. Thank you. 1, 2, and 3.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, no.
Nobody break the camera, man.
Good evening. It is now 5:31. We're going to call our meeting we're going to open up our floor for our public speakers. Looking at our agenda, do we have public speakers speaking to the agenda?
We have 2.
Okay. Okay, we'll start with our 3 public speakers. Our first speaker is Mrs. Barbara Long. Since added agenda item. All right, I think that's the Harbor Oaks golf course. Come on down, Ms. Long. You have 3 minutes. 2 minutes? Okay. Correction, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mayor and City Council. I will not need 3 minutes. I'm just here in support of the hiring the supervisor for Harbor Oaks Green. So I'm just asking you to vote in favor of that. We need our course to open as soon as possible. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Long. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Sharon Alexander, Harbor Oaks.
I thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I did all the remarks from Barbara. I'm the president of the Golf Advisory Board, and Barbara is the vice president. And we think the move to hire the golf superintendent would be a great move for the city, especially for our youth and our elderly, our senior citizens, retirees, and also for the surrounding communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Mr. Julius Lever, speaking against agenda item number 4.
Good evening, City Council and the Mayor and the residents. I'm for number 4. I said 4. And basically, I'm just here to say that there is definitely a legitimate need for something to be done about properties in the city. However, from what I've learned from watching other cities and municipalities around the country, they all have one thing that I think is lacking here, and that is have appeal procedures. Anytime a person, an entity like a municipality says we're going to tear down your house, it is very important to state the appeal rights. And I'm suggesting to you that we revisit the appeal procedures and make sure they are intact. The second thing is I'd like to say that sometimes we live in a poverty-stricken area, and it has been that way for some time. And I will say quickly, I remember when I was a kid, there was a 2-room, 3-room house. They had 3 children. And it was like every 18 months they had another child. And a daddy would go to work and he would build a room, and build a room, and build a room. And by the time all of them got out of high school, it was 10 rooms. And Mr. Mays knew about what I'm talking about, because we grew up on School Street, one of the oldest streets in the city. So those houses, when you add on to them, they don't last like an antebellum home does. You know, when they're built with the best construction of the European architects and designers and builders that came to America. So sometimes, generations later, the poor person can't live in grandmama's home as easily as a person can who is more fortunate. So I'm just suggesting to you that at least I think we should invite every person that you want to declare nuisance in for a meeting. A 15-minute, 30-minute, I don't want to put a time on it, but a meeting just to discuss the house. And I think that's basically the things I have to suggest. And I thank you very much for allowing me.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. At this time, we're going to call our meeting to order. Our invocation will be delivered today by Pastor Preston Thomas from Christ the Redeemer Church. Is Pastor Thomas here? Come on up, Pastor Thomas. We're asking everybody to please stand and remain standing for the pledge of allegiance.
Thank you, Mayor and county city officials and Palm Bluff citizens for this gracious opportunity. Let us bow our head in prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, who created all things, who sits supreme above all things, who through your Son Jesus bought our redemption, and by your Spirit who sustains us. Our triune God, who has created us for his glory, which has always existed from eternity past. Our God is full of wisdom. So Lord, we ask you to impart your wisdom to us at this moment. That our interests and our ideals be guided by your moral character. That your interests be our first concern, so that our community will shine upon our county and our state and our country and the world. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. And Pastor Thomas, we thank you so very much for that heartfelt prayer. Before we go into the roll call, I'm going to excuse myself this evening, and Councilmember Lloyd Holcomb Jr. is going to facilitate the meeting today. I have a pressing engagement that I must attend, and I'm going to trust that the council members will be able to punctually and effectively conduct the rest of this meeting. I know I'm leaving you all in good hands. So I'll see you at the next meeting.
City Clerk, can we have a roll call?
Councilmember Mays.
Here.
Councilmember Holcomb Jr.
Here.
Councilmember Brown Jr.
Here.
Councilmember Lockett.
Here.
Councilmember Brown Sr.
Here.
Councilmember Shainer.
Here.
Councilmember Frazier.
Here.
And Councilmember Branson.
Here.
All present. All you have the minutes from the meeting, April 3rd, 2023.
So moved.
Second. It says been moved and properly second that we accept the minutes from the last meeting from April the 3rd, 2023. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those that oppose, so moved. Next, we will move into our committee reports. Ways and Means, Councilmember Brown Jr., stepping in from Councilmember Mays.
Thank you. Ways and Means met just before this council meeting. Tonight we have one budget adjustment. It's coming from the street department. It's their 2022 carryover to 2023. And this total budget adjustment is $1,196,500. I move that we approve this budget adjustment.
Second. It's been properly moved and second that we accept a budget adjustment from the street department in the amount of $1,196,500. Is there any discussion, any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, budget adjustment accepted.
That concludes Ways and Means.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown Jr. Ordinance and resolution, Councilmember Brown Jr. in the place of Councilmember Mays.
Thank you. Ordinances and resolutions met just before this council meeting. Tonight we have 3 ordinances on the agenda. Agenda items number 1 and 2 will be completed tonight. They're up for the 3rd reading. And agenda item 3 is up for the 2nd reading, but we would like to try to complete that tonight. Agenda items 4, 5, and 6, all resolutions to be completed this evening. And we also have an item that was brought to the council today. It is a resolution approving a position of golf course superintendent for the Harbor Oaks Golf Course, fixing the salary for the position and directing the finance department to make the needed adjustment to the 2023 municipal budget. I move that we add this to the agenda.
Second.
Is that what we had administration the other day?
No, correct.
How did you miss the agenda?
Can you repeat yourself, Councilman Brown?
Didn't we discuss this in administration the other day?
Correct.
How did it miss the meeting? How did it miss the agenda?
How did it miss the agenda?
We could have voted on to the agenda now. How did it miss?
City Clerk Roberts, can you answer?
I would defer to the attorney's office.
We just received the request, today. We just received it today. I don't know who was responsible for getting that information to us, but we just received the request today.
We had our meeting it was in our last meeting, correct?
Yes, we had it last Tuesday.
Right, so there's no need for it to not be on the agenda, but that's another day, I guess.
Yeah. But we'll take care of that tonight.
Okay.
It's been moved and properly second that resolution approving the position of the golf course superintendent for the Harbor Oaks Golf Course, fixing the salary for the position and directing the finance department to make the needed adjustment to the 2023 municipal budget added to the tonight's agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Roll.
Roll call.
Councilmember Mays.
Aye.
Councilmember Holcomb Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Lockett.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Senior.
Aye.
Councilmember Shainer.
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier.
Aye.
And Councilmember Brunson.
Aye.
This agenda.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, this will be number 8 on the agenda. That concludes ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you, Councilman Brown Jr. Economic and Community Development, Councilmember Brown Senior.
Thank you very much. Basically, I don't have a report from community development, but in lieu of the mayor not being here, then I will cut down what I was going to say. However, I've been getting from the people that live in Pine Bluff that a lot of times they vent about things that's going on in their community, and nothing is done about it. Most of the time, they're saying that if they come here, or if they call one of the aldermen, or if they call the mayor, then it's more or less, it's a dead issue until they think about it again, and before they know it, what they were trying to get done has piled up and gotten worse. The last thing I want to say is that I passed out to each and every one of you the law of the municipal courts in the state of Arkansas. And I'm not going to elaborate anymore on it, but the attorney has it. I passed it out 2 weeks ago, and everybody in here today should have it, including the press. The law is on that paper, and it's an article and a section about this tax. And that's all I'm going to say about that tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Brown Senior. Public Health and Welfare, Councilmember Frazier.
Public health and welfare did not meet, but however, I would like to say that our mental health and wellness conference on April 8th went very well. Out of 91 registrants, we had 85 in attendance, and we had 18 local vendors here in reference to the mental health and wellness, and a lot of our citizens really got the resources and help that they needed, and actually asked us to do it for 2 days. I don't know about that, we might extend it, but I don't know, 1 day was a good amount of information, but we are looking to extend it some kind of way, but maybe not 2 days. And also, in lieu of that, because of everything we talked about in reference to mental health and wellness, Southeast Arkansas Behavioral healthcare system is having a mental health month celebration on May 24th. And so I'm asking everyone to contact Bessie Linsolin in reference to that at 870-534-1834. If you could come out and support and help, we would appreciate it. Thank you. That ends my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Frazier. Public Works, Councilmember Shaner.
Thank you. Public Works met on April the 12th. During that meeting, we had reports from Clean and Beautiful. On April the 1st, they had the community cleanup with Family Church, which extended out a four-block radius from the Family Church on Poplar Street. And they said they had a real good turnout, cleaned up lots of trash. On this past weekend, April 15th, the Home and Garden Show was held. April the 20th, which I believe is this Thursday, is the community shredding event. That will take place at Saracen Landing from 10 until 2. And also mowing has started in certain locations. The Aquatic Center reported they had a very good turnout for spring break. They collected canned goods and they turned those over to UAPB's food pantry. They have 9 new lifeguards and 6 new swim instructors. Mr. Bennett with the street department gave a good report. Street repair crews repairing potholes and patches in wards 1 through 4. Currently in Ward 3, removing fallen limbs and trees and limbs from recently severe winter weather. Currently coordinating the purchase of a drainage GIS system. Install new guardrails on Old Main. Finished up a drainage repair on Stevens Drive and another location. And also, the big thing that I'd like to bring up is C-Click Fix has started, and I'd like for everybody to start utilizing that. I mean, that's going to help the street department find out information about, if there's, signs missing, potholes, anything the street department needs to be notified of. We can do it now just with a cell phone, and that's really going to help out everybody. And that concludes my report.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Shaner. Development and Planning, Councilmember Lockett.
Thank you, Councilmember Holcomb. The Development and Planning Committee met on April the 4th at 1 o'clock in the City Council chambers. We forwarded to the council with a due pass items number 4 and 5. We also, on the 10th of April, have town hall meeting, which we addressed the C-Click Fix software application and an issue that was brought forth by the Development and Planning Committee on our vacant property registration ordinance. We had a great turnout and we gave great information about how that program is going to work in an effort to try to prevent homes from becoming a nuisance. One of the things we do in Development and Planning, every month we refer at least 10 to 15 houses to our nuisance and condemnation list in order their abatement. And we're trying to cut down on the number of houses that we are actually demolishing and trying to encourage people that have nice homes that they no longer live in because they moved, to try to get those people to either make those properties productive or list them with realtors that will be in the business of selling them. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Lockett. Traffic and Aviation, Councilmember Brunson.
Thank you, Councilmember Holcomb. I do not have a report. We're meeting tomorrow. Traffic and Aviation will be meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the council chambers and also via Zoom. But I do want to make a point of reference, not particularly about the Traffic and Aviation Committee, but about something that I'm working on in Ward 1 that I just want to address real quick. As many know that we have lost a grocery store in that area, and a lot of questions have came about of what are we going to do and what can we do. And I have been meeting with the Arkansas Food Desert Task Force, and they're out of Little Rock. and we started some conversations on what we can do about bringing an alternate solution to the city, but we also want the community to be involved in that. So the next step is doing some focus groups, and I want to make sure that the council members are involved in that. Definitely economic and community development, I want them on board as we continue to move forward with that, so everyone is aware and have an understanding of what that looks like. But just to know, let everyone know that we are working to get a solution, but it's a process within that. So please be patient as we go through the process, and please be open and willing to give input on what that looks like for the community and the city. Thank you.
When is your next meeting?
So the next meeting, for the food test.
Yes.
Okay, so the next meeting, I'm trying to plan it within the next week, but I will keep everyone informed, and we'll do some promo, and we'll do some emails so people can be aware of what that looks like. Thank you.
Councilmember Brunson, did you
Yes.
mention May event for the first ward?
Yes, I'm sorry, the next event that we're having also is the Friends of the First Ward event, which is a way that we're going to celebrate and highlight small businesses in Ward 1. We're gonna show our support. We're also gonna let the community know what they do and how they do it. It's gonna be May 6th at 6 p.m. at the Art Space. It's a community event. Would love for everyone to come out and acknowledge those who do so much for our community. You can do a RSVP. That's just so we can get a head count, but we have some really good restaurants that's in Ward where they're gonna be providing food, and we're gonna just have an evening of appreciation for our small businesses in Ward 1.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Does that conclude your report?
That concludes my
And
report.
can you repeat one more time your traffic and aviation meeting for?
Oh, traffic and aviation will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the council chambers via Zoom and in person.
All right. Thank you, Councilmember Brunson. Administration, Councilmember Holcomb. The Administration Committee met last Tuesday. That was, I'm looking at my calendar, April the 11th, with a due pass on agenda item number 8, a resolution approving the position of the golf course superintendent for the Harbor Oaks Golf Course, fixing the salary for the position and directing the finance department to make the needed adjustment to the 2023 municipal budget. That concludes my report for the Administration Committee. Public Safety, Councilmember Brown Jr.
Thank you, Councilman Holcomb. Public Safety met on April 12th. We heard from Ms. Young, the courts. She stated that she was ready for an audit that was about to happen within their department. And also she mentioned that for 2022, the courts collected $994,000, with $444,000 of that going to the city. And that's largely because of some of the collections that they've had through the Arkansas state sales tax, getting some of those court costs paid and people having to pay through the taxes. We also heard from Animal Control, Mr. Graydon. He actually passed out a sheet for us. He mentioned that on his save rates for the Animal Control Center that he was at 87.6%. It seems to be one of the highest save rates that we've had in recent years. He also had a guest with him, Ms. Kathy Overfield. She was with Best Friends and Animal Society, and that group actually helps increase the life saving for the animals in the shelter. She's been here, or the group has been here since September 15th of last year, and they also provide foster programs for adoption of animals in the shelter center. And she also mentioned that they were bringing in veterinarians from Northwest Arkansas, which will aid in vaccines and microchipping for our animals that are located there. And the microchipping is a better method of being able to keep up with pets instead of having a college, which they could lose. We also heard from Chief Howe of the Fire Department. He gave out his monthly report. All council members have a copy of that. He mentioned that he had to make a trip to Wisconsin to do an initial inspection on the engine and the ladder trucks that they ordered. The estimated delivery for those vehicles will be late 2023 or early 2024. We stated that there are 90 people that are actually 90 members in the fire department right now, but it's budgeted for 92, so it's getting close to having all slots filled. It has 10 members that completed hazmat training, 9 that are doing in-house training for EMT, and 3 that are presently in the fire academy. Also during this presentation, Assistant Chief Jones presented a short presentation about upgrading our fire training facility, and that is a cost that's going to be roughly $500,000. And I think that at some point we may be able to get that presentation out to all of the council members. Also during that meeting, a 3/8 public safety sales tax spending proposal was presented to the Public Safety Committee. That spending proposal has been overlooked by the mayor, the fire chief, and police chief, and so that information is available as well. Our next meeting is going to be scheduled. It's going to be scheduled for May the 3rd. Right now, I'm going to say 1:30 p.m. Council chambers, unless something else happens. And that concludes my report.
May 3rd, 1:30 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown Jr. That concludes our committee reports. Next, we will move into our proposed ordinance and resolutions. Councilmember Brown Jr.
Right. Agenda item number 1. An ordinance amending subdivision 2 of Division 2 of Article 4 of Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to enact a new section 7-74 pertaining to review of plans for solar power systems for buildings or structures and cell towers, providing for a plan review fee to be assessed and collected in the inspection department, providing for a penalty for failure to obtain a review, and for related purposes up for the 3rd and final reading.
An ordinance amending subdivision 2 of Division 2 of Article 4 of Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to enact a new Section 7-4 pertaining to review of plans for solar power systems for buildings or structures and cell towers, providing for a plan review fee to be assessed and collected by the inspection department, providing for a penalty for failure to obtain a review, and for related purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. That ordinance amending subdivision 2 of Division 2 of Article 4 of Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to enact a new Section 7-74 pertaining to review of plans for solar power systems for building or structures and cell towers, providing for a plan review fee to be assessed and collected. The inspection department providing for a penalty for failure to obtain a review and for related purposes. Are there any questions? All those in favor of this ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, ordinance passed.
Agenda item number 2, ordinance amending Article 3, Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to adopt a new Section 7-49 pertaining to certificates of occupancy, redesignating existing Section 7-49 as 7-50, existing building code, and for related purposes, up for the 3rd reading.
An ordinance amending Article 3 of Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to adopt a new Section 7-49 pertaining to the certificates of occupancy, redesignating existing Section 7-49 as 7-50, existing building code, and for related purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second that an ordinance amending Article 3 of Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to adopt a new Section 7-49 pertaining to the certificates of occupancy, redesignating existing Section 7-49 as 7-50, existing building code, and for related purposes. Are there any questions? Any discussion? All those in favor of this ordinance, let it be known by saying aye. Those that oppose, ordinance passed.
Agenda item number 3, is ordinance amending section 7-46 and 7-47 in Article 3 of Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Existing Building Code and for related purposes. For the second reading.
An ordinance amending sections 7-46 and 7-47 in Article 3 of Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Existing Building Code and for related purposes.
Move to suspend the rules and place this ordinance on the third and final reading.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded this ordinance been placed on its third and final reading. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Mays.
Aye.
Councilmember Holcomb Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Lockett.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Senior.
Aye.
Councilmember Shainer.
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier.
Aye.
Councilmember Brunson.
Aye.
An ordinance amending section 7-46 and 7-47 in Article 3 of Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Existing Building Code and for related purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that this ordinance, it is moved and properly seconded that this ordinance, an ordinance amending section 7-46 and 7-47 in the Article 3 of the Chapter 7 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Existing Building Code and for related purposes. Is there any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor of this ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, ordinance passed.
All right, agenda item number 4, we have a resolution declaring certain houses, buildings, and/or structures as nuisances and ordering their abatement.
Whereas the City Council has determined that the structures located on the
Move for
property.
adoption.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded that a resolution declaring certain houses, buildings, and/or structures as nuisance and order their abatement. Is there any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor of this resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passed.
Agenda item number 5, the resolution providing for replacement of costs of correcting certain nuisances on tax books as delinquent taxes and collected as such.
Whereas ACA 1454903.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded that a resolution providing for replacement of costs of correcting certain nuisance on tax books as delinquent taxes on collected as such. Is there any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor of this resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, resolution passed.
Agenda item number 6. Agenda item number 6, resolution amending the 2023 municipal budget regarding the use of funds appropriated for the Economic and Community Development Department.
Whereas the 2023 municipal budget for the Economic and Community Development Department appropriated the sum of $149,000 for University Park renewal projects. And whereas the department seeks authorization to use said funds for citywide acquisitions. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, the 2023 municipal budget in the part thereof concerning the Economic and Community Development Department is amended to change and name the purpose of the line item dedicated to University Park renewal projects to read citywide acquisitions with the appropriation of $149,000.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded that a resolution amending the 2023 municipal budget regarding the use of funds appropriated for the Economic and Community Development Department. All those in favor for this resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, resolution number 6 passed.
Agenda item number 7, resolution approving funds for on-site travel expenses for the GBI program. to provide training for staff, city officials, and members of the program's advisory board, and advance the goals of reducing criminal activity within the city.
Whereas in resolution number 4582, the council authorized the GBI program and created a director's position for the program with the purpose and goal of reducing group and gun violence in the city through partnerships with local governments, courts, juvenile and adult probation offices, the Pine Bluff and Watson Chapel school districts, nonprofit and local businesses. And whereas an advisory board of stakeholders from these entities has been formed, which includes county and city officials, other members of the community. And whereas the mayor has appointed an executive director of the program, and the program has been authorized a budget of $500,000 spread over a 3-year period. And whereas the objective of the program is to create a holistic approach to service to identify and eliminate obstacles to effective intervention in the lives of at-risk young adults and provide opportunities and alternatives, where are we at? Alternatives to criminality, to end that cycle of violence in the city. And whereas, in order to formulate effective strategies and tactics to achieve the stated goals of the program, pertinent training is essential, and the GBI program, in partnership with the John Jay College, has arranged for training with cities who are currently conducting GBI programs, including on-site observation and networking. And whereas, due to the fact the city's program is the first of its kind in the state of Arkansas and is in its infancy, this hands-on training will be of great value. And whereas the council finds that the individuals named below, who are part of the advisory board of the program, and along with the director of the program, the mayor and chief of police or her designee, their participation in the training will be of great value. And whereas reducing the cycle of violence and combating crime in the city is priority 1 to municipal government and the residents, and an indispensable element to the quality of life. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Section 1, that the sum of $10,000 is hereby appropriated to pay the travel expenses associated with the participation and attendance of the individuals named in Section 2 below in on-site training and observation of GBI programs in the cities of Philadelphia, York, and Chester, Pennsylvania. These funds may be sourced from the $125,000 set aside in the 2023 municipal budget as the city's youth fund. Section 2, these officials and members of the advisory committee are approved to attend the training and are eligible for travel expenses reimbursement. The Honorable Shirley Washington, Mayor, Denise Richardson, Chief of Police, Lanita Hughes, Program Director for GBI, Judge Ernest Brown of the Jefferson County Circuit Court with primary jurisdiction over juvenile matters, Lafayette Woods Jr., the Sheriff of Jefferson County, Arkansas, Eric Walden, Assistant Chief Juvenile Officer for Jefferson County Circuit Clerk, Joanna Jackson, Chief Juvenile Officer, Jefferson County Circuit Court Juvenile Division, Philip Carlock, Assistant Superintendent, Pine Bluff School District, Tasha Lewis, Clinical Social Worker, Southeast Arkansas Behavioral Health, and Christy McNeil, District Administrator for the Watson Chapel School District, Section 3. The council finds that the participation of the named individuals in the training is essential to the effective implementation of strategies and tactics to combat violent crime in Pine Bluff, that due to their official positions or employment, each person is uniquely placed to be a difference maker in the success of the program, and that defraying the travel expenses for this trip is a valid municipal expenditure in the public interest.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that a resolution approving funds from on-site travel expenses for the GBI program to provide training for staff, city officials, and members of the program's advisory board and advance the goals of reducing criminal activity within the city. At the end of the discussion, I just want to recognize Judge Brown and his entire staff that's here tonight. And just thank you for all your hard work and dedication. Do we have any comments? All those in favor of this resolution, if it's okay with the sponsor, I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor.
I would too.
I think everyone wants to be added as a co-sponsor. All those in favor of this resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And I guess no one opposed. Resolution passed.
Agenda item number 8, a resolution approving the position of golf course superintendent for the Harbor Oaks Golf Course, fixing the salary for the position and directing the finance department to make the needed adjustment to the 2023 municipal budget.
Whereas the city Parks and Recreation Department has assumed management of the Harbor Oaks Golf Course and Regional Park, there is a need to add a position of golf course superintendent dedicated to that facility. And whereas to attract, hire, and retain a qualified candidate, the salary to be paid for the position will be $57,000 plus standard city employee benefits, which is within the salary range previously assigned to the position by the salary survey. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Section 1. There is approved a position of golf course superintendent for the Harbor Oaks Golf Course to be filled consistent with the attached position description. Section 2, the annual salary for the position shall be $57,000 plus city employee benefits. The finance department shall make the necessary adjustment to the 2023 municipal budget.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the resolution approving the position of golf course superintendent for the Harbor Oaks Golf Course, fixing the salary for the position and directing the finance department to make the needed adjustment to the 2023 municipal budget. Is there any discussion? Any questions?
I just feel like this is, like the other resolutions, they're needed within the city. This allows us to continue to work together to make our city a lot better. And now's the time, just continue to work together and make all this work together for the good.
Thank you, Councilman May. Anyone else? If it's okay with the sponsor, Councilmember Shane, I'd like to be added as a sponsor.
Me too.
Add me on too.
We got all of
As Councilmember May said, this is great for our city. And this is just a great time.
Yes.
All those in favor of this resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And those that oppose, resolution passed.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Oh,
I just one thing, our new superintendent, Mr. Wagner, Alan Wagner, he's here tonight.
okay, Mr. Wagner. Okay, Mr. Wagner. Good to see you, Mr. Wagner. Did you want to?
Good to see you too.
All right. Did you want to say something?
I'm just looking forward to working with the city of Pine Bluff. I have been playing golf at Harbor Oaks. I think it opened in 1993. I've been playing there since 94, 95. And I have a lot of experience, 12 years total. 8 years, 4 years as an assistant superintendent, 4 years as a head superintendent. And kind of like I told the mayor and Miss Trudy the other day in our meeting, that I just want to get this place back to where it was before, because I feel like it's one of the best stops in the Natural State Golf Trail. And I want people to come to Harbor, and when they leave Harbor Oaks, I want them to say, hey, I went to Harbor last weekend, and it's better than DeGray. It's better than some of the other, parks that are, the park-owned golf courses around the state. And that's where I think we should be, and that's where I'm gonna strive to get us back to.
All right. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
And actually, you're right. I've been wanting to get into golf for 10, 12 years myself. And if you get it up, where we can just play.
Yes, sir.
You got some good golfers here, but I want to join in.
Yes, sir.
Whatever you need from the city council, let me know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I will.
You giving out lessons?
Let me know.
Before we adjourn,
With a little fee.
City Clerk, before we adjourn, City Clerk, Robert,
Thank you.
thank you,
Good
Mr. Wagner.
evening. The City of Pine Bluff notes April the 17th,
2023, Pine Bluff Step Into Spring Walk-In Challenge, April the 29th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Saracen Landing. Medals will be awarded to participants depending on the number of miles completed. The City of Pine Bluff 2023 Spring Cleanup will be held April the 22nd from 8 o'clock a.m. to 12 p.m. The meeting place will be Detective Kevin D. Collins Center at the Civic Center Complex, also known as the Old Library Building. Pine Bluff Live on Sunday, number 5, Summer Camp and Job Fair, April the 30th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. here at the Pine Bluff Convention Center. Join us for a talent showcase and find summer programs for youth and jobs for all ages. To set up a booth for your business or summer program, contact our office at 870-730-2004. That concludes the announcements for tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Before we adjourn, we do have 2 speakers speaking on non-agenda items. It has been motioned and second that we adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Our first non-agenda item speaker is Libby Hill. Is Libby Hill present? Okay, Ms. Hill, you had 3 minutes, Ms. Hill.
I just wanted to say, this is my first time being here. I have been able to be here, but I had a lot of things on the agenda tonight. But one of the things that I had was coming together and working together. We need you all to work together in Pine Bluff. We're tired of the fighting. And I'm speaking to us as black people. You're working together. This city is largely black. Please come together and work together. When we work together, we can do things. But when we're divided, we can't do nothing because it's going to fall. And I also wanted to say that it's a lot of confusion going on, and a lot of it's coming from the city council, some of them anyway, I won't say all of them. But we got to go forward, Pine Bluff, and it's an issue with it. But anything that they can do, no one touches Pine Bluff until this organization came. We done fell from all the way down to the bottom. And doing that, and I keep hearing say they're not doing anything. Well, my daughter told me, Mama, get on the website. Start reading. We need to find out what's going on before we get out here and put our black people down, because they are trying to grow Pine Bluff up. And if I remember, it was young people that got it started. It was young people that brought it to us. We're older people, and we're not going to be around here. Give our opportunity to our young people and grow Pine Bluff. Please. The constituents of Pine Bluff is tired of the fighting among ourselves. We need to come together. And in a city on the abatement, I think that's a wonderful thing. We sure got a lot of garbage bins on the 3rd Ward and 4th Ward in Pine Bluff. It's dumpsters, mattresses, trash, garbage, and it looks like a slum over there. So city council members, that's y'all's ward. Let's clean it up. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Hill.
We do need to clean up, but we need to penalize those that mess up. We cannot clean up constantly behind grown people that don't better. We need to penalize those that mess up, because it's not fair for us to do our best to be city aldermen and citizens of Pine Bluff. And yeah, people think that, okay, I'm gonna dump here and I'm gonna throw here because they're gonna clean it up. I think we need to hold them more accountable for doing this disruption to our city. Thank you.
Our next non-agenda item speaker, Mr. John Finley. Mr. Finley, you have 3 minutes.
Hi. I'm sure you all know who I am at this point. My name is John Fenley. I live here in Pine Bluff. I've been here for 3 years. I'd like to tell you, there was a meeting down in the city council building like February, this emergency meeting where everybody suspended the rules and called for this tax. And I said, if you wrote me a check for what Ryan Watley's put in his pocket, I'd have go-karts run around my place if you didn't stop me. Well, guess what? I have go-karts at my place. Who wants go-karts in this town? Yeah, go-karts? We're gonna have go-karts in this town if you don't stop me. There's a planning commission meeting on the 25th of this month. I expect to be denied because I'm not go forward. That's my expectation. I'd like to speak for a minute about Ryan Watley. It takes a special kind of person to stand in a room full of preachers in a church and lie about Albert Brewer like he did, saying that he did not have a 501c3 certification. The go-kart track is on their list of completed projects. Can you ride a go-kart around out there now? Is that completed? No. No. I did a little digging, did a Freedom of Information Act request, and I found a bid that basically explained that they were going to spend $3.5 million of the tax money on renovating a building, and not go-karts, not the track, not any of that stuff. And when I asked Ryan, he said, "Oh, that's something. That's the problem with Freedom of Information Act requests. You can get all this stuff that's not important, right?" Well, guess what happened just like the next week? They decided to demolish the whole thing, and they had to start over on their whole project. And I saved the city $3.5 million of tax money that was going to be wasted, just like that. I'd like to speak a minute about the generator, because I know makerspaces. I've toured over 30 makerspaces across this country. I was a member of the Nation of Makers, and I went to Washington, D.C. for a makerspace organizer convention in 2017. The generator is the worst makerspace I've ever seen. You guys have wasted $2 million. It's terrible. I've got a little limerick that I had an AI write about the generator and the go-kart track. The org known as GFPB spent our tax money freely with glee. $2 million they blew, makerspace for the few, while mine stalled and couldn't help you. A group known as Go Forward Pine spent $3 million to make their track shine, but far less expense. My plan made more sense, leaving GFPB far behind. The delays that you put on me by preventing me from getting permits to renovate my building, I wasn't asking for tax money. All I wanted to do was get permits to be able to do the work, to bring my building up to code and get it up and running. But you've stalled me for 3 years. That's 120,000 cumulative years that the 40,000 people of this town have not had a good makerspace.
Let me finish.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fenley.
Oh, and cleaning up the city, you prevented me from doing a compost yard. This city badly needs a compost yard. There's yard waste and limbs everywhere, and nobody has a place to take them except the dump. I would propose to do a compost yard at my facility, and it was denied. Why? Because they don't like me, they don't want me to use my building, they're going to deny everything I try.
Thank you, Mr. Fenley.
I would like to make an announcement. Spring shredding event, Pine Bluff, Jefferson County Clean and Beautiful Commission, April 20th at Saracen Landing from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Limit of 10 boxes per person, banker size boxes. Please sort before coming. No metal or plastics, only paper. Thank you to all of our sponsors and volunteer groups. I need to send some stuff over there. That's all I have.
Thank you. That concludes our meeting. Everyone have a good night.